Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Gurur-Brahma Gurur-Vishnu Gurur-Devo Maheswara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Phunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mahavidyushavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we'll chant always the first verse, okay? Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So we were discussing that how rare to be born as a human being. Now again in the verse number 3, same concept is continuing. So let us read verse number 3 straight away. So being the text big, so we have to go faster, okay? Durlabham trayamevaitat Devanugraha hetukam Devanugraha hetukam Manushyatam mumukshuttam Mahapurusha samsrayaha Durlabham trayamevaitat Devanugraha hetukam Manushyatam mumukshuttam Mahapurusha samsrayaha. Actually, these are the verses that uplifts a person when the person is drowning. This is one of the verses. If you look at especially this Viveka Chudamani, there are many verses that you will come across, which literally will help a person, especially a drowning person, to see a different light in life. So when he says this, look, remember, in life, basically a human body, human life is called wanting life. Always there is something wanting. Anything and everything is not complete in human life. Because if everything is complete, you will not get a human body. That's why we say human body is nothing called mishra. So mixture of a papa and a punya. So being the mixture of papa and a punya. So depends upon the prarabdha, that how much papam, how much punyam you have, you understand? So based on that your prakriti is being developed. And based on the prakriti, of course you put effort and you keep improving. Naturally your prakriti also changes because of vairagya and abhyasa, or abhyasa and vairagya, that is better one, abhyasa and vairagya. Now, being a wanting person, I would like to highlight here, always the person feels insecure, challenged. When something goes wrong somewhere, definitely the person always goes back. See, looking back is different. Going back is entirely different. See, you can look back, nothing wrong in it. But going back shows that something is wrong. So this time, these sort of verses are helpful. Let us what is all about it. It says, look, Durlabham Trayam Eva Etat. So these three things are very durlabha, rare to attain. Very difficult, very rare. And how it happens? Devanugraha hetuka. Only it happens because of the anugraha, the grace of God. So why he puts the grace of the God? Because it's called prarabdha. So prarabdha we mention very carefully as God's grace. So wherever or whenever you come across the God's grace, because God's grace is a religious language. Because when you say prarabdha, unless you have proper understanding of Vedanta, suppose you say prarabdha is my, whatever I did, I got it. But what will happen is when the right thing when you get, you will say it's mine. When wrong thing, you will not accept it. So when you say God's grace, so there is a fear with reference to a bigger thing, uncertainty, and many things called X factor. So that's why God's grace is always used instead of a prarabdha for common purpose, or you can say for religious purpose. And moreover, when you say prarabdha, you will not feel like putting effort. Only you will be interested to take the credit. It is like, for example, you say it's my ancestor properties. So when you say my ancestor properties, you want to take the credit, but really very rarely you will, take the discredit. So that's why it is better to use the God's grace, so that humility will be there. And of course, you do not know what is going to come, which is true. So again, you keep putting effort, coming back to the point. Because so that you should not get confused. Oh, Swamiji, you talk about prarabdha, suddenly what is God's grace coming? So you have to understand, that is called, as you start seeing more and more text, slightest that difference will be resolved. That is what called, we say very nicely, especially in physics or any language, what you study in or elementary classes or 10th or 12th, same thing you study in PhD. But what happens there, things are very minutely understood, so that there is no doubt at all. That's why we look at different scriptures, different prakaranas, to make sure that one prakarana may give you just one idea. That's enough. Don't expect that, prakarana will give 100 ideas. No, please understand, once teaching continues, one prakarana will give just one idea. For that sake, we hold on to the prakarana. And also, dwelling upon the same text again and again, mind is entirely different with the teaching. That's the purpose of taking different text differently, nothing else. Don't think, now Viveka Chudamani, new Brahman will come. New tricks and techniques will come. Please, Viveka Chudamani neither can give you new tricks and techniques nor new Brahman. Same old Brahman, okay? How? So, Durlabham, Trayam, Eva, Etat. So, these three are very rare. And this is not because of anything, because of God's grace. So, unless there is God's grace, you don't get these three. And who are they? Number one is Manushyatvam. So, being born as a human being. It is not only being born as a human being, living and behaving like a human being. We have to add, okay? So we can be born as a human being, but we can live like animal. Yes, we can live like a human being, but we can behave like animal. There are three levels. So being born as a human being, living like a human being, and behaving like a human being. This is very rare. People, it's very difficult to find out human beings, okay? Only two-legged animals, you understand? So full of animals, creatures and whatnot. In fact, I'll tell you openly, this is how I try to grow up. It's a beautiful point to observe, because I have grown up in a very tough way. When I say a tough way, let me, now when thought is coming, so let me share. This is how, because in the teenager time, as I was very much curious and serious, not only curious, serious on this studies, I didn't have anything. You may believe it or not, just I am sharing with you. This Bhaja Govindam text to see. So there was a man who had this text, Bhaja Govindam. And those days, he to get the Bhaja Govindam text, just imagine, he had to travel more than some 60 kilometers in a boat. And Those days, he was narrating, he sold, I think, some 8 bags of, 75 kilos of, each bag contains 75 kilos of paddy. So he sold 7 or 8 bags of paddy to get that book. And of course, when I come across this set of person, they don't give so quickly. But anyway, I was spending time and all these things with those great difficulties. So I got the text from him. I'm talking about like when I was some 13-year-old boy. Because nowadays you go to the internet, you can get everything, okay? So that those days nothing was there, nothing I knew. So it is a very big eye opener for me because they see, like when I was 13, 14 years, they were already 70-year-old people. Imagine. So that was my relationship with them. So with great difficulties. One aspect I remember, that's what I am trying to share with you all. This verse really hits me, takes back to him now. We used to analyze that how a human being is called animal. While talking, some people would while talking, a tongue will come out. You might have noticed. That means the person must be a snake. And there are people while talking, because whatever they have eaten, those things will come out and also chewing. That means must be cow. Okay, understand? No, I am not telling you jokes. In fact, that time I was being so cautious with these elderly people. We used to have discussion. In fact, because me being a small child, they were like, don't behave this way. Sit this way. Sit that way. That is how, to be very honest, I grew up. It's not that they put me into any difficulties, because I was very much interested and serious, and they discovered this fellow is really serious. Such a small child is interested to learn all these things. Because at that time, instead of playing cricket and doing all these things, I was behind with these people. And in fact, they never taught me. One word they would say, you find out. That was the dangerous part, a very painful thing for me. Sometimes one trick, a yogic trick, something they will talk and leave it. I have practiced more than 1 or 2 months. Then after practicing, I will go back and tell, look, is this thing? Oh, you got it. Okay. That's all, nothing else. So coming back, just this concept came, Manushyattvam. That not only physically I have a human body, also living like a human being. So that means how a human being should work, how a human being should talk. That's why you can see in my approach, very clear-cut approach. This is how I picked up in my teenager. I am telling you openly, this is my secret, how I grew up. I have put a lot of effort to literally grooming myself. Nobody had groomed me. And because I have been groomed, you can see the difference. And of course, this is my problem. I put a lot of effort on all of you to get groomed, okay, quicker. Because what hell I have gone through, I don't want you people to go through. This is the problem I have. But anyway, that's your prarabdha, my prarabdha, okay. The third one is living like human being. Living like human, behaving like human being. So behaving like human being means that your mind should be a human mind. Unless these three are there, you are not called a human being. Let us not stress too much, okay? Because we will see a lot as it comes. Because this verse hit me, my old things, that's why I am highlighting, nothing else. Second, okay, you can be human being in 3 ways. With body, living, and behaving. Nothing wrong with it, you can. But that is not enough. Second type of rarity is called mumukshutvam. Hey, you can be a king. Because those days I remember this, the status was there. So okay, let us me do something, prove myself, I am somebody. Because like in a teenager, what is the tendency? Let me prove. When you walk on the road, So everybody should give the way. In fact, I can tell openly, one day this elderly man, I really, he was one of my guru, to be very honest. One day I was, practicing something, there is something called, when you walk, everybody should give the way on the road. That was my practice, okay? Like the moment you go, everybody has to give the way. So what's happening? That person could make out, oh, this fellow is getting into some. One day he said, hey, what nonsense you are doing? He asked me, hey, what nonsense you are doing? Now, okay, you are showing up now, okay, I know the moment you walk, everybody gives the way. I could make out. That means you have got some knack now. But is that purpose? Yes, you will be accepted as a big fellow. Is that purpose? No, try to know, look for moksha. He used the word, look for moksha, the purpose of life, to be a liberated person. Not to prove how strong you are, how big you are, not to boss over others. In fact, that became the conflict in my life. That was the seed of my conflict, okay, in my life. So, second point is called mumukshutvam. So, you can have all these things, then you become a rare person to prove that you are a great person. To boss over, to take over. And you will never be available either for yourself. Forget about being available for others. You will pretend to be available for others. Because when I am not available for myself, can I be available for anybody? Impossible. So that's why he says, mumukshutvam. Because tvam means is a status, ness. Maintaining this attitude that I want to get liberated. I want to be a free person. So the one who is desires of liberation, it's not once in a while comes, because we all, when we are suffocated, we have, beautiful saying, especially now Corona is going on, I can say. This also I have seen with these elderly people. I was spoiled actually, to be very honest. That's why meeting with them, living with them most of the time, mentally, physically also. I developed, to see the dying people, dead people. Anybody dies, I'll be there. So that was another hobby of me. And of course there I used to watch what discussion happens in the cremation ground. That I was very curious. You should see all sort of discussions in cremation ground. And especially now Corona is going on. That's why I can forget about that whole Corona. What discussion? Oh, that person is dead. Now let us close. All ashrams are closed in India, okay? Not because of Corona, because of fear of Corona. My number should not come, okay? Let it come. What is there? At least Corona will take me quickly. I will not suffer for longer time. Anyway, let me not get into the confusion or conflict. So here is said, mumukshutvam, me being liberated, means my first goal is to be liberated. So that means, again, the person must have seen the limitations of all success in previous life. Can you see this point? Unless and until the person has seen the limitations of all the success in life, will never be interested in moksha. Try. Very nicely, beautifully is being highlighted. This is a story I have shared. Now I can bring it, this story about Dhruva. A Dhruva happens to be youngest person to be liberated. The story goes about him. The god himself appeared in front of him, and not only that, also assured a pada, a abode called Dhruva pada, so which is called as pole star. Present pole star is called that, stands for that. So when he got this thing, all these sadhus, those who were doing meditation for years, they got very angry. They said, look, Lord Vishnu has got his own agenda. We were praying for years. Forget that he is coming to us. Even if in our dream he doesn't come. Only Devi Hills and different type of thought comes. All vasanas comes. But a small child went to the forest and did Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana few days or whatever. And Lord Narayana Vishnu himself appeared. You are liberated, and also one award was being given. Don't you think it's wrong? So then another person, yeah, definitely. Do you know why it happened? Because Dhruva happens to be born in the lineage of Lord Vishnu. So definitely, after all, his own gene. So he has to give favor. That had happened. So when this was being heard, one of the senior sadhu heard this thing. Said, look, this is not fair, but however, let us go for a change, for a walk, for a ride. Generally, they used to doing all the meditation in an island. So they take a boat and went for a ride. Generally, they go for little distance and come back. But that day they happened to go very long distance. Then someone said, no, we are getting late, we should be back. No, let us go. As they, small islands, the story goes, okay? Please don't stretch too much. Understand story part only. As it happened, so they arrived on island, all of them are shocked from a distance seeing. There are many ant hills. Like which ant hill, some 10, 12 years old, something is, 300, 500, 1000, so many ant hills. Chronologically, it has been, so many are there. So they say, what is this ant hill? What are they? This elderly sadhu said, I myself really did not know. Once, one of the senior sadhu also brought me here. And he said, look, each ant hill stands for the previous life of Dhruva. And he has been meditating. And the last phrase one, what you see, that happens to be his last life, which is some 8 to 10 years old. Then what? Yes, then what happened? Now when he was meditating, you can see the last one as a very recent one. And he was about to make himself free from all desire. No vasana was about to catch him because he was resolving all vasanas. What we call, you are supposed to be really free. Moksha. Moksha is nothing, not joining with anybody. Please understand, moksha is not getting, moksha is losing. I am giving another example, another definition today. Moksha is not all about getting. Moksha is all about losing. The more you lose, that's why sannyasa. The more you lose, the more you are closer to moksha. However, coming to the point, that he was about to, but unfortunately, there was a king with his group. He was passing by. And this Mahatma, who was about to free completely himself from all his vasanas, thought of, wow, what would be if living like a king? So one thought came in his mind. And because the thought of a king came to his mind, of course he tried to meditate, but it was unresolved. And he was born in the family of a king. So he was born as a prince. And after being born as a prince, he discovered there is nothing great all about being a king, because he saw his father very closely. He monitored very quickly, you understand? And of course the situation pushed him in such a way, he didn't have any other choice other than going to the forest and looking for Vishnu. And that particular vasana, that particular desire got resolved. And that's why Lord Vishnu had to appear and made him. So the story communicates very carefully that to have mumukshutva, if you are interested for freedom, if you are really interested to be a free person, that means you must have seen the limitation of all the success that you have earlier. So unless and until you have seen the limitations of success, you cannot sustain this mumukshutva. Can you see this point? It will come and go. You understand? Tan, 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 tan. Like a wave, okay? And if it comes and goes. When it comes, you feel good. When it goes, of course, you are all miserable. So we assume that. That's why to maintain this, you need to see the limitations. If you have not seen, try to see it. So limitations can be seen in two ways. One is by achieving and going through. Other one is by understanding. So if you cannot achieve, which is impossible, because there are hundreds of success, thousands of success, life is very short, we cannot. So better to understand. Because to learn, you don't have to learn that fire burns your finger, you don't have to put your finger. Take a stick and put it. Okay, if stick is burnt, automatically your hand will get burnt, don't worry, okay? This is the difference. Okay, if you are not interested in stick, put a live plant, okay? One piece live plant, live branch. If that gets burnt, so definitely your hand also will get burnt. Simple logic. So next point is, after mumukshutvam, last one is, okay, mumukshum, suppose you are interested to be free, but you may get lost. What is the guarantee? There is no guarantee at all. So third one, he says, Mahapurusha samsrayaha. Coming in contact, he uses what? Mahapurusha. Actually, here we have to take Mahapurusha means Sadguru. So Mahapurusha means generally you say great spiritual person. So inspiring person, okay, it's great. No. Mahapurusha means coming across a Sadguru. Shrotriya Brahmanishta. Or else what will happen? Many people come to spirituality. They have this mumukshutvam, as I said earlier, they have a spark. But if they come across a wrong person, the spark goes other way around. Can't you see this point? I will give you a wrong example, which will be more interesting. Those who in India or all over the world, those who become terrorists in India, Naxalite. So those who become Naxalite, they have some spark. Without spark, you cannot be an Naxalite. Some type of rebellious attitude. I want to do something for my community. Unless that sort of things there, you cannot be an Naxalite. To be very honest. But what happens? They come across with the wrong person who actually spoils their mind. Can you see this point? Suppose if they come across good people, right people, same Naxalite will do the best for the society. Society will be entirely different altogether. So that means the spark, how is it being utilized? Can you see this point? You have spark. But if the spark is not being utilized, channelized properly, definitely things will go completely other way around. Life becomes another waste, again back to the square. Can you see this point? So that's why these three things are very rare to have. Manushyatvam, mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Sansaya. Coming in contact, being under the guidance of, please understand, coming in contact means being under the guidance of a Sadguru, of a teacher. These three are very rare. That's why this verse actually uplifts a person when a person is drowning. Can you see this point? That's why we chant this Durlabam Tram Etat. In fact, I remember I have chanted this verse many times. Mentally, whenever mind goes down, Durlabam Tram Etat, Daivanugrahatukam. And that time, of course, I was doing Guru shopping, okay? Remember, you cannot think of what way I have done Guru shopping. And then what, okay? Manushyattam, Mumukshuttam. Then there I stop it, okay? To be very honest, this Mahapurusha Samsraya, I did not chant. Because I was looking for Mahapurushas, okay? That is another life of mine. Let us not get into, okay? But this up to Manushyattam, Mumukshuttam. Manushyattam, Mumukshuttam. However, okay, suppose you have got this. Then what is that? Let us read the next. I am supposed to go fast, but very slow I am. Labdhva kathanchit janma durlabam tatrapi pustam swati paradarsanam Yastvatmamukti na yateta mudadhi sahyatmah stvam binihastvasadabgraha. I think I need specs. We'll have text tomorrow, bigger alphabet, it's a bigger thing. Labdhva kathanchit narajanma durlabham tatrapi pustam sruti paradarshanam yastvatmamuktai na yateta mudadhi sahyatmah stvam binihantya sadagrahat. Very nice, okay? Labdhva kathanchit. Let us say, with somehow or other, you have managed. What you have managed? To get Narajanma, which is Durlabham, which is very rare. So you have managed to get human body. So having with great difficulties, somehow you have acquired the human body. Because now, let us come back to the practical, okay? That was the inspiring verse. Now come to the practical verse, okay? So after getting this human body, because already you have got, no doubt. But then what happens is you just tatrapi pustam. Also you have got a manhood. Pustam here is being highlighted. Scripture highlights pustam as we discussed in the first class itself. That thinking like a man means the one who is not emotionally volatile. The one who does not depend upon emotionally for everything. As you know, especially psychology highlights how a man thinks, how a woman thinks. That's why a man can never understand a woman can never understand a man unless you are a psychologist. It's very difficult. That's why this man and woman never go together, okay? Even though they stay together, okay? However, let us not get into too much, okay? Then people say, Swamiji, please, you are talking to all of us, but don't be too rude, okay? But what can I do? Coming back. So whenever it is being talked Pustam, don't look at the human, only main body. And also, to be very honest, male body has got a difference than a woman body. By nature, whatever you may say, a woman body is a tender, very receptive, also fragile. That is how the woman body is being created. And how it is created again based on my prarabdha. This life I am a woman because of my prarabdha. This body is a man body is my prarabdha. I have to accept it, whether I like it or not. Now what happens here is being also very careful said. Because body I have got, that's why we have many sadhakas. 3. Being a woman body, she could ask the best question. In fact, she is the Brahma Vidya, part of the Brahma Vidya lineage. There are many ladies. So there what happened, she did not depend upon, like when the husband wanted to go away, so wanted to divide the property. He said, what for you want to property? What for you are going? That means you want something better. Tell me what for you are going. I am interested in that, not your property to share and take care of my security. So that is called, male thinking, man thinking. Because not you look at, if you are interested in your maintenance, please understand. If you are always interested in your maintenance, that means you are a woman. Simple logic. A woman by nature always thinks of maintenance. If a man starts thinking of maintenance, you understand? Hey, why should you think of maintenance? You have to create. Go ahead. Suppose, because the moment you start thinking of maintenance, you are being pulled down or not, pulled back or not. Just observe this point. Because maintenance is nothing but a mechanical thinking. Let him not get into psychological aspect, because now I have to go ahead with the verse, okay? Please. So okay, let us now drop. We'll bring back this point some other time, okay? Please, bear with me, okay? Pustvam. Then second is Shruti Paradarsana. Shruti Paradarsana means the one who knows the scripture, the one who has understanding of scripture, the one who has studied scripture. But he says, look, also what happens? Yahatu at swatma muktehi na yateta mudhadhi. So having all these things means the person who has the best mind, best surroundings, situations, that is called manhood, you understand? The person who is not concerned about maintenance, means everything you have. Physically, mentally, you have. And of course, luckily, you are you are attached or endowed with the knowledge of the scripture. But you are not putting effort to make yourself free. Can you see this point? Swatma mukti, the problem with all of us is we never put effort to make ourselves free, but we always put effort to make ourselves tie down. Can you see this point? All our effort is completely related to tie me down with somebody or something. I started tying down myself with my education. After education, I need money, my job. After job, my relationship with my wife, with my husband, with my children, whatnot. Then to protect my relationship, I need house and other things. So all the time, I was working on what? Getting tied down. Please understand, this is the most beautiful point to observe. Not to release myself, but to tie down myself. So I thought only tying down myself with all these things, with my family, with my people, with my everything, I will be free, or not I will be free, I will be comfortable. I'm sorry to use the word free. I'm jumping, okay? A common person thinks, if I have money, if I have good relationship, if I have all these things called good, I am comfortable. And that comfort people think is called happiness. That happiness people think is freedom. Can you see this point? So this is what we have been tying down ourselves differently in many forms, many ways from our birth. And more we have scripture knowledge, more we get opportunity to tie down, including Swamijis in the name of ashrams. No, I'm telling you, this is the truth. That's why if there is no teaching, a Swami is not a Swami. I'm sorry to say. If there is no teaching, a Swami is not a Swami. Only through the teaching a Swami will maintain Swamihood. That's why it's very clear. Or else it is very easy to get carried away. And especially a Swami to get carried away is much more easy because everything is being taken care. Because you have got good prarabdha, because of that reason you have become Swami. That itself will bring a lot of things in you. So that's why here is being highlighted that if you are not striving, continuously putting effort or striving or working to release yourself, definitely you are a mudhadhihi. Your dhihi, buddhihi, thinking is mudha. You are deluded. So that means you are good for nothing. With all these things what you have has no value for you. It has got value for others, okay? So I was talking before class, we had a good talk, okay? Look, before Swami passes away, has to make a will quickly, okay? How to hand over to the next fellow, everything. So you have everything to hand over to others. What do you have to hand over to yourself, to look at yourself? So something you need to look at yourself. In fact, in this regard, I have some respect Swami Chidananji Maharaj, which is untold story, which I came to know from different sources. This story, but nobody talks, many people do not know, because they talk about him in different ways. From Chennai, I came to know because one of our person told me, because he was that time, I think, part of a trustee of a trust, a school. One day it happened that Swami Chidananji Maharaj, one check arrived before he left his body. What Swami Chidananji Maharaj did it. So whatever money was there with him, so he has handed over check without anybody's knowledge, in his way, distributed to all the institutions where he had studied from his childhood. So he felt, look at this, maybe God knows whatever happened to him. That's, we do not know, we cannot say either. So they were shocked. Then these people also, these trustees, they never knew that Swami Chidananji had studied there. How they will know? Somebody studied and that person has become Swami Chidananda. There is no link, nothing. So when the check arrived, later, I am very grateful that because of this school I studied and today I am different. So I thought of giving some donation. And please don't publicize it. And they were shocked. They did not know how to react, what to do, what not to do. In fact, because it's very clearly, don't write any thanking letter, no publicity. So that person in fact told me and called me, Swami, do you know Swami Chidananji? I said, of course. There are so many Swami Chidananji Maharaj. Who is it? Chidananda Saraswati of Divine Life Society. I said, no, of course. He's a great person. Do you know he studied in our school where I am trustee? I said, oh. I said, how do you say so? Then he said, look, Swamiji, this is the secret. It's okay. What I am trying to say is, it's very nice. Because that he did it good, which really I appreciate. For that sake, really, very nice thing. Because he did for something to release himself. So this is called, learning to release myself. I don't keep for anything, for anybody. Let me do whatever. That's why I should not allow myself to become a moodha, deluded in my thinking. Can you see this point? Moodha is the point. And if that happens, what happens? It says beautifully, Sa hi atmahatvam. Very strong word he uses. That means it is like exactly destroying one's own self. Like you are committing suicide. So why do you commit suicide? Because you are a hopeless case. And for what? Binihanti asab grahat. So in order to attain some objects, some importance, something in life. Can you see this point? So why you do kill yourself? Why do you destroy yourself? Why you commit suicide? Why do you suffocate yourself? Just to get some peanuts, some attention, some closeness, some comfort. In order to just get something, you understand, which of course takes care of your, what you call, vulnerable soul. I'll give you one story. With this story, I'll stop it. Okay? How we are being trapped, but it's a very life story, very sad story, bad story also. Long back, there was a person, very funny man. And in Chennai, and he happens to be from one community called Reddy community, okay? That's Andhra Pradesh. So Reddy community is a very rich community and lot of dowry system they have till now. Because if you have a Reddy son, while marrying time, girl side will give huge money. So he was being blessed with one male child. Good. Then after that, everybody, including grandmother, wife, everybody wanted another female child. But again he got blessed with male child. In fact, the moment mother came to know that she has given birth to a male child, again, literally mother kicked the child. It went to that extent. I want a female child. Enough. So everybody was unhappy. And this fellow was jumping. In fact, he got the news, he was jumping like this. Wow, again I have got a male child. Then, when he expressed to his mother, of course, wife, he could not talk. Wife, wow, I'm happy. Mother started shouting at him. What nonsense? Do you understand? How can you tell you are my son? That means you are so much interested in money. He said, no ma, not that way. I have my own way. He was expressing, that's what I'm trying to say. I have my own way. Now what? Look, I am very happy that I have 2 children, 2 male child, not 1. What? Because, look, once, if I have got 1 male child and 1 girl child, female child, now tomorrow when they grow up, there will be some issue. This boy definitely is going to hit me. Either physically or verbally or anyway. So when the male child hits me as a father, what time the female child will do? Papa, don't worry. Emotionally she will take care of me. You understand? Again I am caught up with them. Whereas if both are male, when this fellow does this side, if I go to other fellow also will hit this side, okay? So when I get both sides, I will have vairagyam very soon. That's why I am happy. Coming back to the point that we run behind people. We run behind situation. We run behind small things in our life. Asadgraha, that's what I used. Just to have an ointment, you understand? All these are called ointment. So I have some skin disease, or I can say my skin is burnt. That's a better word. So when my skin is burnt, now I need some ointment to apply to heal. But the problem is when I use that ointment creates another type of disease. And to take care of that scar, I need another ointment. Can you see this point? And whole life goes running behind ointment and applying it. And when I am running behind ointment and applying on me, I lose everything. And that is what he highlights. You are committing suicide. Wasting literally your life. More of it we will see tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.